Oh my goodness. Welcome back. Hey everybody. Welcome to episode 29. It feels like it's been forever. I feel like we're in some sort of a Marvel movie or something where like we've gone back in time and then there was a blip and everything else, but we're back. We're going to talk about bug out and bug in and camping and all kinds of stuff and our adventures and such things. But in the meantime, I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. With me as always is Tup, the urban prepper. What is up, Tup? How are you? How was your week?
Well, we've had it feels like we've had a couple weeks off, I think. So I think we're all refreshed.
Now you sent me a message. Is that a secret message, or should we let everyone know of the shh?
Oh yeah, Mrs. Urban Prepper has no idea I'm on a live stream, so I'm already getting calls right now.
Okay,
so we'll just be warned on. So
all right,
so someone may storm the room. So.
We're either gonna go real short or we're gonna go real long because he's gonna bar the door and we're gonna go all night. One or the other.
We may get swatted on this live stream. We'll see, but not by
perfectly fine.
Not by the SWAT team, but far worse. Far more deadly for me.
Hey. It would not surprise, I think, anyone who watches our show that could happen.
Yep.
Is it just me? I see we got Amy Fresh is here.
Yeah, we could start officially.
The usuals are here. Chuck, we missed you too. We've missed you very much. The usuals. We got Boss Minecrafter is here. I think this may be your first time. Welcome first long time watcher, first time commenter.
Yep,
possibly. And then if let's see, but little Amy has a thing. Little Miss Amy in the room. We know what happened. Yes, that mom is pissed.
Yeah,
I don't know how it is that you don't have a shirt or a sweatshirt or a sticker or something that says "Mom is pissed."
I have one. I'm not wearing it today though, so I was in business attire for today.
That's fair.
It's business on top, party on bottom right now. So.
Obviously, isn't that how we all go?
Some legs are there. We go.
Yeah. You know what? I got the same thing going on. It's basketball pants and branding. That's what we do. Well, boss, welcome to the live stream.
Yes.
So happy that you could join us on your first one. We'll try to be gentle. Is anyone else hearing an echo? I've got a weird echo in my ear. So as long as you don't hear it, I'm fine with that. But if everyone else is hearing it, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Amy, can you, Chuck, anyone hearing an echo? No. Okay. Maybe they're just not even hearing me at all. Okay. Chuck says we're fine. We're in good shape. Okay. So anyway, it's been a couple of weeks. We've missed everyone and we all went camping.
Yep.
And I felt like this would be a good episode because for the last few weeks, we've kind of, I'm just going to say, we copped out on the titles. It was like, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to call it Q&A and call it a day.
Yep.
I figured, we could talk about like some camping lessons. It's always good, like bug in, bug out practice. So just kind of like, we'll go through that. I felt like we are a little, even for us, unprepared the last couple of weeks. And then I saw a TikTok with Gary V talking about how he does a podcast and he doesn't prepare at all. He just walks into the room and asks questions. So I think we are at least as good or better than Gary V.
Well, I think we're in the preparedness community where it's good for us to be prepared for a lot of things. But I think for a lot of these like live streams and where we're just kind of talking off the cuff, I think there's some there's kind of authenticity with it that you don't get from TV and where they're reading a teleprompter and stuff and everything's strategically planned out. I like the realness of this one, and That usually results in smiles and laughs, and who knows what kind of crazy prepping idea we'll come up with on the stream. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And I
so I
promise that I
I think it's
did
I kind
not.
of like it like that. So
Yeah, and I promise I did not spend a solid 5 minutes trying to place Baby Groot in the shoulder shot
yeah,
here. That would not be preparation that I did.
yeah.
I don't want anyone to think that that was the case. All right, so Van City Prepper here. Welcome to the party. Um, so Amy just kicks us off. So let's just go with that. What did each of you neglect to bring camping that you wished you had?
Well, I think you went like real camping. We a few weeks back we did more glamping. I don't know if it really
Oh,
counts as much, but
we did glamping.
okay, you had running water.
We don't even pretend.
Okay,
If it's going to be called a vacation, then it's going to be glamping. Like what people consider real camping
yeah.
is an apocalyptic nightmare that I only want to go through once in a true emergency. So
Let's see. What did I not bring? I think I might have you go first because I'm trying to think back. It seems like so
that's
long ago
fine.
that I was out of town. So
That's fine. I can do that. And
yeah,
Steve, we're so glad you're here. Look, we got new people. This is fantastic.
nice. Welcome,
I
Steve.
love this. We go away for 2 weeks and new people join in.
Yeah.
So when I think a couple of things that happened with us this time, we actually slimmed down. So in the past, we've gone with a few families and we bring a bunch of the same stuff, and then we've got extras and all that. So we really tried to slim down. One of the things that I don't know, forgot, but I didn't plan for enough was extension cords. Adapters, extension cords. We had a little bit of a different setup than we were used to, and I didn't have. We had kind of the 2 extension cords and a power strip because, like I said, we don't go camp. It's glamping.
Yep.
Like we've got a refrigerator and all kinds of stuff, which we'll get to the refrigerator. But the extension cord options I had were very limiting, and so we couldn't really put things the way that we wanted to. So I think one thing that I would probably add for next year, given the current setup, is some additional lengths and configurations, some 3-prongs, some different adapters. Again, it's not probably standard camping stuff. Also, the propane adapters. We had a 20-pound propane, and we had the little 1-pound ones. And usually I have a splitter that goes and splits it off to different things. And I forgot it. So we were without that. So I need to make sure that we've got some additional backup splitters and adapters and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so I'd say that's what I wish. Also a trailer. I would really like to explore this travel trailer idea.
I like it.
And I think that maybe as a conversation we'll take after we go through your things. Because I would also love to know what everyone else in the chat thinks about the travel trailer, the pop-up camper, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, cool. I those are all things I think that we should all probably bring as far as like the extensions and the different adapters and stuff. That's the little details. On our last trip, I definitely brought I brought a Jackery with me for power for like CPAPs and stuff like that. The thing that I found that and it's probably a common prepper thing is that I had certain gear for me, but I didn't have it for everyone else on certain. We were down in Oregon and we wanted to do the lava river caves down there. And of course, I had my headlamp, I had a flashlight, I had a backup one, but I didn't have like one for everyone. And so I felt like I don't know. It's like, well, what do you mean you don't have like 4 extra sets of headlights on lamps on you? So I need to figure out a better solution for family camping where it's like we have a core set of family items for those like the colors of prepping style items, like what the mandatory wants to bring, because that we ended up having well, do we buy extra ones for everyone or so. I think that's a problem that preppers run into oftentimes is where maybe it's not, they don't need it. I mean, they have what they need, but they don't have enough to spares for others. So
now when you say that you didn't have enough for others, do you mean you didn't have enough for everyone in your party or
yes,
or everyone in your family?
Yeah, so my kids didn't have a headlamp, for example. I had my headlamp, I had my flashlight, but
you're gonna have to turn in your prepper badge. That's
I didn't have it for my wife. In all fairness, my wife packed their bags. I didn't pack those ones.
Okay, All right, as long as it's your fault, that's totally
Yeah,
fine.
it's totally
Yeah,
that's what ended up happening.
yeah.
Another one is we did some beach. We hung out on some beaches, and when you're at a beach, of course, the kids want to play in the sand and make. There's people. We went to one where people were digging for gooey ducks and clams and stuff like that. And of course, I
Mhm.
had my military shovel ready to just for that occasion. I was ready for it, but I didn't. What I forgot to do is the last time we used it was in salt water. So then when we used it here, it was all kind of crusty and I couldn't get it to lock, and so we were kind of having it wasn't the best shoveling experience for clams that we could have had. So I forgot to, like, after using the gear the last time, to clean it before the next time, because then it wasn't at 100% for me, which was a little frustrating. So, and then of course, when you have like a YouTube channel, I thought you were the urban prepper. I thought you were supposed to, and that's like that's a daily thing for me, and it's so frustrating because if you have the word prepper in your your
Yeah,
name, it's
see,
a
I strategically did not put prepper in my name. I was
yeah,
like, I don't want that sort of expectation.
yeah.
Like, let's
It's
be
like
real clear with the Legos and everything. Like, we're non-preppers. That's
yeah,
what we are. But yeah, um, which beach? Because we went to the lava caves and there's no beach there.
yeah.
Like,
There's no. This was a different weekend where
okay,
we went on the Puget Sound. We did some ferry rides and went to some little private beaches over there, and did some clam digging, which was fun. So, and then
okay,
we
fantastic.
ended up buying clams afterwards. But
That seems
but
like what most like initial gardeners do. It's like what my garden is right now. Like, we planted a bunch of stuff and I
yeah.
went to Whole Foods and bought tomatoes because I don't have any yet.
Yeah, yeah, it's a. I see Amy's message. Yeah, it's a constant razzing every day. If I don't have something random, like, what do you mean you don't have a 9-volt battery in your pocket? Like, I thought you're the Uber prepper. What do you mean you don't have a tampon on you? I thought you were the Uber prepper. Well, I don't. What do you mean you don't? It's like you can't win. So, I try my best, but
I'm I'm s- I do we want to touch who's
but,
asking you for a tampon?
well,
I
it's
don't know. There's too much there. We're just
yeah.
gonna leave
Well,
that one alone.
yeah, we'll just
Um,
leave that. We'll leave that
yeah.
as. But then, like, my comeback is like when something's not in place. Like for example, the junk drawer. I did a junk drawer video years ago, and I had it really nice, and then the kids just destroy it. And so it's
Well, yeah.
completely wrecked. And so my thing is, well, hey, it was in here, and no, it wasn't. I'm like, yeah, it's in the PDF. I'm going to give you the PDF, and that's my comeback is like, you didn't read the
Here's
PDF.
here's the printed document of
Yes,
how this is supposed to go. The
yeah,
schematics. It's like IKEA furniture. Like, we just have it all ready to go.
yeah.
And obviously,
And then my kid's standard comeback is, you don't know. That's a
you're like,
crap.
actually, funny story. I wrote the book.
Yeah,
I did. I literally, here is the book. It's this PDF. I have it ready to
yeah.
go. That's what I did. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
that's
fantastic.
kind of the stuff from that I could think of that really comes to mind from the past. Like, during the summertime, it's super busy and a lot of camping, a lot of weekend stuff, a lot of family things, and not a lot of spare time for editing videos. That's for sure.
That seems reason. You know what?
Yeah.
I think I figured out what my audio
Uh,
problem is. I think that's better.
yep.
Uh
I
oh,
heard myself for a second there too. So
oh my goodness, that's fantastic. It's great when you put the audio source into the same thing that you're talking in.
yeah.
You don't get the reverb. That's what my problem is.
I
Okay.
thought you were a Cascadia Dispatch. I thought.
Yes, but I'm not Cascadia audio visual.
Yeah.
I'm Cascadia Dispatch. You know, if I had like a telegraph or something, that would be bad. Um, I think one of the things we need to look into for you too is like a chase van, like they have in like bike races that
Yeah.
like go behind with like the additional like tires and pedals and things. Maybe we get something like that for you. That's just like a small Home Depot that just motors along behind you, and anywhere you go, you have all the things that you need.
That's a good idea. Yeah, when
Yeah.
with the whole, I saw the Jonathan had a recommendation for a shovel, so I've been wanting to get that one, and yeah, I think you're right that I wouldn't have had that problem with that shovel. I just like that little foldable one, but I think I'm gonna have to upgrade it now for each of the vehicles. But one of the things I always have a problem with is especially when you make videos, if your tools and if your stuff is too clean, you get heckled like, oh, look at that pretty screwdriver, you barely use it type thing. And so I try to clean stuff when I can, but then other times I don't want to because I feel like it needs to show wear and tear for credibility purposes, but then it bit me on this one. So
have you considered speaking to a professional?
Is there like a prepper counselor service?
Prepper therapy.
Like,
That's what
therapy.
we need. Prepper. How do we merge prepper?
You lay on some like Molly Webbing couch or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Tell me about the time that you didn't have enough C batteries to use for your. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, Chuck. Yes, WD-40 and duct tape. It should be everywhere. It should be like WD-40 duct tape and those little orange blanket things. Like that should be everything.
Well, for me, like it's WD-40 duct tape and then Bag Bomb is like the one that I use. Yes. Like Bag Bomb's awesome. And I think it's in the same category for at least in our house as WD-40 and duct tape is. So.
Yes, it is amazing.
One of the questions I've always had is how much how much duct tape do we need? Does each family how much should they have? How many rolls?
Until you run out of money or square footage of your house. I think
is there a shelf life to them though, or does it lose its stickiness after?
Tape?
Yeah.
You know what? That is an interesting question because when you
where's our fact checkers?
Like old, yeah, exactly. Somebody Google what's happening.
What's the shelf life of duct tape?
Yeah, exactly. I think we can figure that out. There are often times where like I found old duct tape, but it's usually on something, and like the stickum doesn't work or the fabric inside is being exposed.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder, if there is a shelf life. There's a difference between shelf life of used duct tape. So like if you put it on, like how long will it stick? Versus if it's still in a roll, like is it still good? But
I'm looking on a different screen here. Does it ever expire? Most tape products list a 6-month to 2-year shelf life. I don't think that's true. That must be.
That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't
seem right. That seems like a Best Buy date or like like best used buy. It's like, okay, that's great, but am I gonna throw up if I use it afterwards? Like that's really what we need to know.
It's like where they have a shelf life for like where you get some Himalayan salt or something like that's been around for 200 million years and shelf life for 1 more year. we just missed it.
It was so close. So close.
200 million years
and 3 hours and it was over. That was it. Indeprected, thank you for letting me know that you were watching on Twitter.
Oh, nice.
That is I've just recently started trying that. And I didn't think anyone was watching. So I appreciate that you letting us know. And thanks for coming.
We haven't been banned on Twitter yet. This is great.
Not yet. Thank you, Elon.
We're super controversial over here. So.
Yeah, we are. We are the bad boys of prepping, as everybody knows. That's what we do. It's how we roll. Let's see. Something about TikTok. I have a TikTok, but there was an account on there just about what you can do with WD-40. It was kind of amazing.
Yeah, my wife's grandpa, he wasn't as big of a WD-40, but he was into Windex, and for him, Windex was like what you needed a ton of it. So, and it was like you sprayed it on wounds, you did whatever you needed with Windex. So.
Yeah, isn't that my big fat Greek wedding? It was Windex,
just like that.
And the Chris Rock stand-up special was all about Robitussin.
Yeah,
shake it up, more tussin. So yeah, I feel like you need Windex, duct tape, Robitussin.
That's another. I think it's another good video topic idea. Is like for these like core items that it's like expected that you have a whole bunch of it. Like how much should you have? What's like I don't know, like like a year's worth supply of toilet paper. How much duct tape should you have, or how much WD-40 do you want? I'm thinking WD-40. Maybe you want a dozen cans of it. Like
I think and like super glue. Like there's some of that sort of stuff that it's like, and I think then you get into the conversation about hoarding versus preparedness. It's like, okay, you can go out and buy 30 tubes of super glue, but like, do you really need 30 tubes of super glue? I don't know. Maybe not. Same thing with duct tape. Like, okay, you can get duct tape anywhere. So do we just get cases of duct tape and put it under the house and cross our fingers? Or
we lost Bodie in the chat. Bodie's out.
Wait, Bodie's out? What happened?
Bodie's out. I don't know what happened, but let's have a moment of silence really quick.
Oh my goodness. Bodie, I'm so sorry. He's out.
Okay.
Bodie, sorry. I didn't even know what that. I didn't.
It was. He's like, these guys are talking duct tape. They're talking crazy. They're talking crazy.
I was like, wait a minute, do we know Bodhi? I mean, we never want to lose anyone, but like,
Yeah, no,
I thought,
we need all the viewers we could get, but
yeah,
we lost
exactly,
one.
exactly. The
Yeah, that's
dozens
why
of people that are
that's
watching.
why that's why you have to be careful on the controversial topics like
Yeah,
Debbie Fatty
exactly.
and duct
Duct
tape.
tape. We were. That
Yeah.
was. It was not a sticky topic for him. It
Duct tape
was. It was
is
not.
duct tape is hate speech right now.
You've been canceled. That's what's happened. You've been canceled by the duct tape people. They are
Yeah.
calling right now. Into Preptit, yes. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Boss.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Boss Minecrafter, the mirror safety. What do you think about the mirror safety CM8M gas mask? That's a remarkably
I got it.
specific question.
I got it. Yeah, I got an email from them about that one just like today.
Is that the brand new one that they're making?
Yeah, it's the newer model.
It's
Yeah,
the like
sure.
hybrid between, because I was looking at getting the 6. We're going off on a tangent, but for everyone who's here, this is what happens. I was actually talking to them about getting the 6 because I like the full face shield. I don't love the little goggly 7 goggle eyes.
Yeah,
it's too creepy for me. I don't know what it's just personal
it's stereotypical prepper type look.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I haven't. Who has the boss asked the question? I haven't looked into it as much detail as needed because I feel like I'm pretty good on my gas mask situation. I have a lot of masks. I have a lot of respirators. I have the carbon ones. I have the CBRN. I have the particulate ones. I have the iostat for potassium iodine. I feel like my nuke supplies are good, but
he doesn't have a tampon, ladies and gentlemen, yes, or duct tape. Or
I don't have the tampon or the 9
but he's got 4,000 different masks. That's what he has.
I mean, the one that I want, like after, like at the beginning of COVID, when everyone people didn't know like what was going on, type thing. Everyone was really concerned. Like the full face mask, it was a little too much even then. I think too. I think I would love to have like just a really nice half mask that was cool. So,
yeah,
that's the one I'm looking out for. I think that'll probably be one of my next. If once the right one's out there, I'll probably get that for sure and get it for the whole fam.
So when
because I have the 3M ones, like the ones that the painters use and stuff, but I want a cool tactical one that I could
tactical one.
that's kind of that like ninja one that you have.
And people say I spend money like crazy. Okay, I understand. Wait, you've got the 3M one that everyone has, but no, I want the tactical one because
you want the one like
it
like,
looks fancy.
like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's what you need.
Yeah, Chuck agrees with you 100%. Yeah, I'm looking at, especially with the wildfires, because we get wildfires. They haven't reached to Seattle-ish area as much yet. They're more, they were California, and now they're like Portland is like any minute a thing. So I've been looking at getting the wildfire one, and they make one that's
I like Chuck's comment about the duct tape and shovels would freak some people out.
Exactly.
Which is
masks check. Headlamps running low.
I've always been like conscious of that for like the bug out bags because like it's kind of like burglary, like 101 kits almost. Like you have some crowbar and some stuff, some hacksaw and stuff. It's like you got pulled. Hey, what do you have all this stuff for? But if you had duct tape and shovels, and I guess if you had a bag of lime, I guess that would put it over the edge. But
put a tarp and some duct tape in there, and you're good to go. You're your own Dateline NBC episode, I think is what you would be. Oh goodness, that is
how did we get there?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a recommendation. It was boss. He threw us off. But you know what? That's totally fine. That's how we roll. Okay, so what is let's say, what is the thing that you were I don't know, excited about having for camping? Do you do new gear every year when you go like camping-ish? Like, are there things that's like, hey, last year really needed this, and so then we found something cool to add? Or how do you do that?
As the years go on, I find that I bring less gear and less, like, I'm less trying new gear out at the trips, because my wife knows that I'm probably putting some B-roll footage together for a video, and usually all the camping trips I do are family trips, and it's like do I really need to be making a video at a family camping trip, or should I be enjoying the moment? So I think I used to be, I would have a whole bag full of stuff I wanted to try out and new things and stuff, but now it's just like I try to keep it to the basics. So and
Yeah.
try
So
not try to sneak in the B-roll footage as I can. But.
Yeah. So the important thing is, you see your family all the time. You don't have the opportunity to do B-roll footage really
That's
ever.
true.
So the priority is B-roll footage always.
Yeah.
Always 100%. Yeah. And Denise wants you to remember the trash bags. Don't forget the trash bags.
The ones that I've been really liking is that, I don't know if Denise, if you have these, but because I used to go the Husky contractor, the black thick ones, which are awesome. And I have those in all my backpacks now. But the ones I've been using a lot lately are the it's like the canvas style contractor bags. It's a woven material.
Oh,
and I don't know if you've seen. They're awesome. They're I might need to make a video.
Are they?
You wouldn't sleep in it. You wouldn't sleep in it the same way, and it's not like it's you could use it for carrying water or anything like that. But as far as like carrying stuff and like being super durable, where it's meant to, like for contractors to put like junk stuff or branches, and it's not going to poke holes in it. They're super durable, and I've been pretty impressed with them. So I've been building up my stockpile of canvas style contractor bags.
The stockpiles of things that we have.
I hate saying stockpile.
Fantastic. Exactly. We're just stockpiling this. So one thing I will tell you is, before I left, I had mentioned that I was getting this refrigerator cooler thing. And you were like, I'm looking at getting the refrigerator cooler thing too. Yep. And I was like, hold on, because it's really super noisy. Let me figure out if this thing works.
You did beta testing it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic. It was fantastic when it worked. Like, we had to get one. They had to send us one that worked. But once we got it, and I will say their customer service, I was a little nervous because they said they were going to send it, and then it was delayed, and I was like, eh. Made it on time for the trip. We got it tested out. It worked great. It was a little noisy for the first couple of days in the garage. The compressor has to work its way in. But we put, it went from 82 degrees inside of that thing to like 9 degrees inside of it in about 2 hours. It was super fast. And then we just kind of let it run, filled it with everything. It comes with like a lithium ion battery. So we unplugged it right before we left. We put it in the back of the trailer. We get the Home Depot trailers because we don't have a trailer yet. The process has begun, but we don't have one yet. So we use the Home Depot trailer, and we put it in the back, and I could still use the Bluetooth to check when we stopped at like rest stops and stuff to see how it was going. And it made it within about 20 minutes of us getting to the campsite. So about probably 3 or 4 hours of just running on the battery, with the freezer, everything going. And when we got to the campsite, everything was still frozen. Everything was still good. We plugged it in. I did not try the solar panel adapter. So that's a thing that would be worth trying out is the solar panel and the car charger. They have a car adapter that you can run too, but we had it in the trailer, so we didn't need it. But it was great. And we ran it the whole week, and everything stayed cool. We didn't need to go get extra ice for anything that was there. It was not as noisy as we thought. It had a really great handle, so it was easy with the wheels to roll it around and everything. So I would highly recommend.
Are you going to send the link, or are we going to put the link in the chat room?
So the tricky part is it used to be at Costco, but they don't have that size anymore. So they have a couple of versions of it at Costco.
How did I know you were going to say Costco?
Yeah, Costco's amazing. When I have the super spendy things that I want to try, I always get them at Costco if I can, because if they go badly, then I can always take it back. And in this case, the first one went bad, and so I just took it back to Costco and I ordered one off their website, and they sent it to me. So they have the smaller ones at Costco, and it's the Massimo Motors brand. And so they have it there, but then you go to their website and they have the bigger ones. So we ended up with the 95 quart one, which was huge, but great. And it has two dual zone things. So we could do like refrigerator on one side, freezer on the other. And then when we didn't need the freezer, we could turn that into a refrigerator. Like, it was fantastic. Highly recommend. Cool. Solid solid 7 out of 10, just because it's a little on the spendy side, and so it's not the greatest. I would have liked it if it would have kept things a little cooler without having running. So we didn't have a lot of ice in it, obviously, but it worked pretty well even like that. So
awesome.
I
need the link.
I will send you the link. I will put the link in the chat. We're still my link builders are still working on all of my links. So we will have links that'll be easily accessible here shortly, but they're still, their tiny fingers are still working on all of that.
I added a link to the contractor bags that I was thinking of, and I see we're getting heckled by ATF again. Good to see ATF. Please talk about something. What ATF? What's going on?
What would you like us to talk about, ATF?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What are you new?
Like, we talked about WD-40. We talked about duct tape. We talked about
we talked about Tup's need for tampons. Like
tampons.
Where have you been? Where have you been? And what did you like? So Kaylin's back. She apparently was watering plants on her deck. I thought it said desk for a second, but deck makes a lot more sense.
The deck. Mrs. Urban Preppers. I think I talked about how she's gone. I don't want to say crazy, but a little. She's going hardcore on the tomato plants this year, and we have like almost 30 of them all over the place, and they're just, I don't know what to do with all these tomatoes. So I think I have to talk to Denise about the best canning strategies.
Yes.
Yes. But we're gonna be tomato rich pretty soon. So.
Yeah, my tomatoes are going very slowly this year, so I'm hoping that we will get any tomatoes before like October. Like, we're crossing our fingers. Also, real fast, into Preptent, which I think you may have left already, but she saw my video that I put out. I did a little short while we were on the camping trip of the camping setup. I think I've got it on TikTok and YouTube and stuff. But yeah, the setup this year was fantastic. I highly recommend if anyone wants to see what our camping setup looks like. It had a dresser, there were cots and bunk beds and a whole thing. It was awesome. Also, a
potato update really quick.
Great. Yes.
Potatoes, I thought they were going really well, and they just crashed and burned. I don't know what happened. So so that's going to be a miss. I'll share what I have, but it's pretty pathetic.
Okay.
But tomatoes are looking good. I saw there was
another question. What kind of Geiger counters would you recommend?
Yeah, that's I thought
I have not investigated those yet, so I don't know, but I assume Tup put you on the spot. Which Geiger counter do you?
Yeah, Boss had a first question, which is
my goodness.
It's one of those questions, things you don't ask on a first date. How many Geiger counters do you have? But then now it's like, what Geiger counters? I have a few. I have an old school one. I'll look it up as we're talking, and I'll get you the one, the newer one that I have. I need to get the old school one recalibrated, and then I have this little. It's not a Geiger counter, but it's kind of like a Geiger pen style thing that I have for EDC purposes.
Does it look like
that's a mirror safety one? It looks like a rectal thermometer or something. It looks like it's, I don't know.
What is wrong with you? What is happening?
It's the first thing that came to mind.
All thermometers could be. Why would you classify it to begin with?
Well, we haven't talked about a poop joke yet, and so I had to get it in there.
Well, you got it out. That's for sure. You really got it out, and I feel like we all feel better as a result of it. Holy cow!
I have I'd call it 2.5 Geiger counters. And you reminded me that one of them I need to get it kind of recalibrated. The other one should be good. And
Kaylin appreciates you letting her know that she also has a Geiger counter. Apparently we all have Geiger counters now.
Yeah, it's kind of the end thing to do.
Oh, you know what? Now we have hit the target audience. That's what's happening.
These are prepping topics. These are like the
seen nowhere else. Only on Prep Talk Live. Yeah. The bad boys of prepping. This is what happens here. We go rogue. Speaking of going,
they're rogue. They're a lot more accurate though. From what I know, and I know with like animals, like you don't have like mouth ones. It's just the animals. You go the back door. So You know, when I'm thinking about my first aid kits, and none of my first aid kits have those, so I don't think I'm
help
prepped up on it.
me help me understand how you went from rectal thermometers, which are, yes folks, any thermometer. I don't think you don't get a special one, like it's just where you put it and then what you sanitize afterwards. But in Tup's world, they're all that. And then your first aid kit for humans. Now you said for animals this is a thing, but for humans,
Yeah,
really, how about just, do you have a thermometer?
yeah,
Do you
I
have
do, but
thermometers?
it's
Well, so
but
then you also have a rectal thermometer, right? Like,
well,
unless
I
it's a
didn't see.
forehead
I
one,
thought
what is happening?
I'm thinking of all my first aid kits, and like I have some electric ones in there where it does the forehead and like the ear one, and then you have like the old school ones, but you don't want to mix and match those thermometers. But I don't have. See, I didn't know, like, so a thermometer is good anywhere, I guess, then. So
And more importantly, Denise is having a drinking game. Every time you say the word rectal, she takes a drink, and apparently now everyone has to drink. This show,
we
look,
were
if
we're going
there
dark
was a
again.
time where you were respected in the community,
Yes,
and luckily you have hitched your wagon to the Lego guy, and now all bets are off.
yeah, no,
Canadian Prepper is letting us know that the shelves will be empty today.
yeah.
City Prepper, I didn't even get a notification. It's so bad he didn't even send like a notification on YouTube. It's just it's over. And you are out here talking about rectal thermometers.
Well, it's the dark side of prepping emergency kits that we don't always talk about. So
yeah. RV Menagerie, I don't think you should use WD-40 like that. That is not safe. That is not doctor approved.
Or duct tape.
Yeah, exactly. There are no I mean, I don't know what videos you have seen that happen on, but that is a no. That is a hard pass.
I'm just kind of imagining like a stereotypical urban prepper style video with the rectal thermometer, part of the PDF kit.
Not only
in the color of prepping, it'd be brown.
Yeah. Also, like the reviews, like how you would put the reviews together. That would be a whole. Yes, Amy. Yes, everyone watching is going to be like, we need to regroup. This is the whole thing. RV Menagerie is already he's
off the rails.
having one and then he's done.
Sorry.
Yeah, Cat. Good plan.
Let me get professional.
I'm also drinking the water because like yeah, we need a bit. Look, if you're having Starbucks, it's 6 o'clock. It's what time is it? It's 6. Yeah, it's 6:10, and you're drinking Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm
tell me you live in Seattle without telling me you live in Seattle.
I'm immune to it, kind of like iocane powder from The Princess Bride. Like,
yeah,
I built up an immunity to caffeine. So,
if anyone wants to know why we are the way we are, it's because the people demand it. Like, there's no regrouping, there's no replanning. We just go. Go, and then sometimes you pop a fever, and Tup needs to check underneath the hood. That's what happens. It's just
sorry about that. I don't get to talk to people about these kind of topics, like prepping topics. So.
Okay, you need to go to betterhealth.com.
Yeah,
and you need to find a professional person, and you can talk to them about these sorts of things. It's a personal. Some of these things are personal issues you may need to work out with a professional therapist. I'm just saying, like, but
yeah, I drink coffee all day long, and it doesn't affect. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I'll switch to like a half and half or a decaf or whatever. But I don't know. It doesn't keep me up at night. That's for sure. So
yeah, I don't tend to have that. I get a headache if I haven't had it.
Okay.
But I feel like it's more of a mental thing in the morning than it is the caffeine rush. Like, I feel like if I don't have it, if I have it, I'm like awake, and if I don't have it, I'm not awake. But I don't know that it's the caffeine. It's more of like Pavlov's dog sort of a thing. Like, okay, I have it, it's part of my routine, and I just do the thing.
I'm the same way with like sodas and stuff too. It's not, I don't need like a certain type of soda. I like the carbonation though, and I like cold carbonation, and then I just like hot liquids that are, because I have coffee cups and stuff like this that are but I find that I drink them too fast with these, so I prefer like the ones with a lid because I drink it a little slower, and I just like having a warm liquid for even if it's like 100 degrees.
Speaking of warm liquids and drinking it slowly, again, ATF. What's going on? What is happening?
Yeah.
Also, RV Menagerie thinks you should make a video about it.
Well,
And
I
don't know if you should make a video or if ATF should make a video or
we
maybe
could do
it
a
could be a collab.
collaboration. A collaboration.
Absolutely.
We haven't
Absolutely.
collaborated for a while.
Yeah. One of
is
you
that-
could brew the coffee. One of you could, I don't know, hold the bag. I don't know. Like
Mother of Healer says, "No way, I'm watching that."
Yeah, no, I
I have a funny inside story. During COVID, when no one had toilet paper, I did a video on bidets, and I
Yes.
had this like sport bottle bidet, and I tested it on a on a like a squash type thing. This I don't know, a squash, and I used peanut butter, and I used to show how the bidet worked type thing, and so City
You
Chris
were demonetized.
I was demonetized quickly.
Yeah.
And then Chris from City Prepping it was like, now he every time he goes to a grocery store and he sees one of those squashies, he'll send me a photo of him with the squash. And so it's like the running joke between us. So every time I'm in the grocery store, I'll take a photo with me with the squash and I'll send it to City Prepping, and it's just for the past 2 years we've been sending each other these squash kind of booty photos.
Tell me again about these squash photos that you send back and forth to City Prepper. Yes. Let's see. Like are they?
I'll see if I can find one really quick.
Are they pumpkins? Like what?
This
could go in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, let me see if I can find one.
Yeah, Amy, I'm not touching that with any poll ever. I don't like. I'll give Tup can enjoy the views. That's what'll happen there. I will, my dozens of subscribers will be safe, and Tup's 8.3 million will, I don't know, really enjoy two tools, one Tup. That's I think that's where we're at.
I'll find it, and maybe I'll share it offline with people.
All right. So practical question here in all of this. Coffee, obviously important, as Chuck has pointed out, is the prepper antidepressant. What coffee plan do you use for in case there was some sort of an emergency? What is your coffee plan of choice?
I did a deep dive on this. Okay, so cool. So I have my EDC coffee. I have my long-term coffee, and then I have like the end of the world as we know it coffee. So so for normal day-to-day EDC style coffee, I either use the K cups, and I do it one by one. I also have some small bags, and I use like one of those drip things. Basically, you pour the water in. It's what's it called?
Like a French press.
I have one of those too. I was doing that, but now
inverted thing where it's got like the bamboo collar thing, and like you pour stuff in and it strains, and
it's one of those type of things that you have it sit on top of here and it drips into there. That's my EDC coffee. So for like, let's say like there's power outage for a long time, I have a certain number of pounds of whole coffee beans that are ready to go in these big bags. I get them from Costco, and I have a rotation.
You love Costco too.
Yeah.
It's not just a me thing; it's a you thing.
So those rotate into the EDC stash once they start expiring. But then, like, I also have a decent amount of instant coffee, because technically, instant coffee, if it's in the freezer, it'll last indefinitely. And I found
indefinitely. You say, well, now is it like the Himalayan salt that it'll go for a million years,
200 million years, except for the year 2022, it goes out, but. Yeah, no. Then I have I don't know how many things of instant coffee I have, but if it's in the freezer, it's pretty much good to go no matter what. And I found a real good brand that I was at a wedding. It was like a Russian wedding, and they had Russian coffee, and one of them was like this instant coffee. It was so good, and so I stocked up on that one. So
I hear baristas all over the Seattle area crying right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll still EDC like I'll have a barista make a coffee, but I have like a 3-step coffee plan for my preps, but eventually it will run out because I don't have like a coffee beans like
you don't have a grove. I mean, we should get one. I feel like that. What we need is like the geodome so that you could actually grow like a coffee tree. Once a year or so, I usually do like a coffee cleanse, basically, where I get off. So because
usually like when you to make sure I
Tell
could
me
still
again
do it.
about the video you're making with ATF. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
well, it's just to make sure I could cut it out if I need to, and I can. Just
Mhm.
kind of like with sometimes if I've had too much bourbon or something, okay, I'm going to cut out bourbon for a little bit, make sure it's not controlling me, that I'm controlling it, and I have to do the same with coffee. About once a year or so, I'll go on a coffee cleanse, like a fast from coffee or from caffeinated at least. So
Do the bourbon and the coffee sometimes argue with each other? Like,
I
okay,
do.
like we're doing a bourbon cleanse, and the bourbon's like, okay, you can go to coffee now, and coffee is like, okay, now you go back to bourbon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a upper downer type thing that I do with bourbon and coffee, but it's yeah.
um, so I'm Kaylin. Okay, you've experimented with opening those up and brewing them, and it works. Okay, that is
Yeah.
very intriguing because we do the K cups as well for our everyday. And then we have some of the like little Starbucks Via pouches that are like the instant coffee
Yep.
individually wrapped. But I've been thinking there's some of these things that we need to kind of start to think about stocking up on, and some sort of an instant coffee thing would be good. What those options are, but being able to take the K cups and do that, I think would make a lot of sense. Somebody was mentioning pour over.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a pour over, and I'm trying to figure out the exact. I'll put a link and I'll put it in the chat room. It's a highly rated one, and I've been really happy with it. But you do need filters with it, so that's one little aspect of it. So, but it works really well.
Yeah, the percolator is also a great option.
I also do the cowboy coffee, the Kent Rollins. I did a video.
That?
I did a video of this one. Basically, it's a huge pot, like let's say you're at a camp or something, and you just boil the water. You boil the water with the beans in it, and that's all you do. You let it boil, and then you let it sit for a little bit. The beans will all float to the bottom, and then you pour it out like with no strainer, nothing. But because the beans all settled after the boiling process, and that's the Kent Rollins Cowboy Coffee, and it's really good. And I have
Now, is it beans or is it grounds?
grounds, yeah.
Okay, so the grounds because I was imagining like, okay,
Yeah.
beans would be really easy to separate, but I wouldn't think that they would brew really well.
Yeah, no. You want the grounds, and I have both an electric and a manual grinder. The manual one's in my long-term preps. The electric one is in my EDC ones. But the Cowboy Coffee, it's actually really good, and the best thing about it is that you could serve it in bulk to people. So if you had like, if your prepper community was at your place for a grid down situation, you could pour 50 cups of coffee type thing. So
Denise, that's fantastic. Denise, okay, let's talk about my inner cowboy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking. I'd love to tell you. So I had a conversation with my mother last week before we went camping, and my grandfather was a rancher, had a working ranch. He was a cowboy for years and years and years and years. He worked for Purina for a while. Like he was a cowboy, and he used to camp like on his horse with the bedroll underneath the saddle, and like that
nice.
was it.
Yeah.
And then when my mom was little, he would take them camping, and they would like, use the river for water, and they would like fish for trout, and that's what they ate. And they would horseback ride in. And so when I started doing this kind of preparedness thing and talking about camping, we always thought it was funny that growing up, my grandfather never knew me as a person that was outdoorsy at all. I know you're all shocked. I'm glad you're all sitting down. And then after he passed away, then this was a thing that started. And that wouldn't it be funny if he was alive and he could see me camping? And so then when I was talking with my mom and saying, that we were getting ready, and she's like, "Oh, what are you taking?" I was like, "Well, we've got our plug-in refrigerator freezer cooler that we've got, and the instant hot water, and the Wi-Fi, and the multi-signal." And she was like, "And your grandfather had a horse and a blanket." And I was like, Yep, that's about right. That's how we roll these days. So yeah, so my inner cowboy is a bit bougie, as we have talked about, the bougie prepper, the bougie cowboy.
Amy Fresh's comment is hilarious. The city slickers.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Who would be Curly in it? The old backup.
It's either got to be city prepper.
Yeah,
it's got to be Canadian prepper.
I think all
Canadian
American
prepper is American prepper. Yep.
All American prepper should be Curly.
Yeah, exactly. Or Bernie. It could be Bernie.
Bernie needs to be in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bernie would be the third one, I think, in the group, and then Curly would be Canadian Prepper with and he would just kind of be in the shadows all the time, and then
Yeah,
he would just show up with things and
yeah,
problems, and we would be like, I don't know what's happening. This
yeah.
is not the ranch. Okay,
Well, that's a
so
great idea. Great movie.
we maybe need to put some thought into that for next year. That might be
City
like
City
a
Slickers. I wonder if
like a
there's
dude
a prepper
ranch.
title, a good prepper title, Prepper Slickers or something, or I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
My wife they used to have a in Montana, they used to have a ranch that was in the family.
nice.
And so that could have been an interesting idea, but
My
that is
my
not an option anymore. So
my wife once she did a road trip on it. She was in a biker gang for a couple weeks, and uh she
I love that you
uh
think it was only a couple weeks. She's still in it. Like
she,
she's
it's
still
you're in for
there.
life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, she was going to Mount Rushmore, and so but she liked Montana. She says she would like to live in Montana or in Wyoming. Those are her two places she likes it over there. But not a lot
Yeah.
of yeah,
Yeah.
not a
The
lot of
camping
high
skills.
tech jobs out there for me. But
Well, I mean, look, hey, you can work remotely. Isn't that a thing now?
that's
Everybody works
yeah,
remote. It's
that's
it's
true.
all a thing. Yeah, the camping skills skipped a few generations. And,
Yeah,
and by skip, like it was me. Like my
yeah,
mom could still do it, but like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. Um, and yeah, the difference between backpacking and glamping, 100%. I don't even pretend like it's real. It's more of like, okay, I know I could do it that way if I had to. In the meantime, I'm gonna set up my new tent with the LED embedded lights, and then walk around the campground looking at everyone's trailers and going, do I need a different truck to get that sort of a setup? I think
yeah.
that is the thing. Um, have you investigated or given thought to the idea of camping with like a travel trailer or something like that? Not necessarily like a fifth wheel where you would need like a whole different car to or truck to pull it, but something that like a standard SUV could do. So you wouldn't have to do the setup of the tent and everything else. It's just kind of there and ready to go.
Yeah, I've thought about because I have a Honda Element and it's kind of perfect for that kind of setup.
Mhm.
I've thought about it, but been deprioritized with for other things that I need to do. So, uh,
Instant
but yeah, I would
coffee,
love
enema bags.
if someone wants to donate me one of those type of setups, I will gladly accept it for sure. So,
Yeah, we're gonna put that on the. We can do a live stream. It could be like a. They do a lot of like subathons on Twitch and things like that.
mhm,
Like we could do something like that. It's the trailer-a-thon for
yeah.
Tup. Tup's trailer-a-thon. Come and donate to the trailer cause.
Yeah, there's a lot
Um,
of when we were out, we were down in Sun River, and there's all sorts of cool vans or trailers and stuff that seemed very prepper-esque, and I was very jealous of them.
mhm.
And they thought I was. I'm like, oh, this would be great B-roll footage. So I'm sure I was the creepy guy that was filming stuff.
There's people now that stop at the Columbia River when you go over the bridge and are like, "Wait, have you seen
Yeah,
this man with the Kangol hat?" Like,
yeah,
yeah,
because
he's not allowed here anymore.
I've been filming the trailer hitch like the in the back of vehicles, and so like I'm there with my camera trying to get the front angle like some weirdo, and so I'm sure the cops will be knocking on the door soon. So
Are you sure that it wasn't someone stole your Jeep as much as it was like someone was driving away because they thought you were stealing their own car? Like, is
yeah,
it maybe
I
that?
don't, I
Like,
don't, I don't, I don't know about that. My vehicle preparedness anti-theft stuff is it's been working really nicely. Haven't been stolen for a while, and now I'm starting. I never. I'm getting into the different type of clubs, like the steering wheel ones or the brake ones, and like
so not the
my
Flintstone clubs or the golf clubs.
yeah, so not
Yeah,
those,
okay.
but the ones
All right.
that you put into the window to kind of or to in the steering wheel to kind of lock it to make it difficult for someone to turn. My
Yep.
father-in-law found this one. I got to find out the brand, but it's kind of a nice if you needed a self-defense weapon type thing. It's like a dual purpose type one, and I thought it was pretty prepper like. So
It's
because
electrified. It's
well,
all of the
technically,
things.
yeah, it's like a horse probably. Uh, yeah, because technically you can't just be driving around with like a little mini bat in your there for like protect. I mean, like you get in trouble for that. But if it's the club, It's hey,
Yeah.
that's my club. So
Hey, that seems reasonable to me. I'm glad
yeah.
that you're up to speed on what size bats you can actually drive around with a car.
Well,
That's
you can't.
good to
I mean,
know.
you can't. Us civilians, we can't have like batons and things like that, or those telescoping ones with the little metal that you could have, like if you're in law enforcement. But
Really?
yeah, no, it's not a. It's wouldn't be prudent. Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
I I'd be interested to do some investigation in that because I think that you can have. I
Well, then
think
it's
there's
but it's like a. I don't want to give we're not giving legal advice
yeah,
here, but
yeah,
from
this
my
is not legal
understanding,
advice. Yeah.
it's like, well, why do you have that for? I mean, if not for like a as a weapon type thing, like you have to like the intent of it. But if it's a
Yeah.
like that's why like the security umbrella is like doable because like it's an umbrella. That's what it's for type thing. And yeah,
Oh.
by the way, it's also really heavy. And you could do the same thing with the club too, because hey, I put the club in my car every day. Oh, by the way, it's also really nice for fighting zombies and stuff. So
Zombies. That's because
that's my
they
new thing now.
sometimes need to take a little ride in a Jeep. That's
Yeah,
what they just need to feel the wind in their disintegrating hair.
yeah,
That's what the zombies are into.
yeah. So
At a glove and ball for plausible deniability. Yeah, for the golf club, yes, 100%. I think that's reasonable.
well, like for if
Um,
you had like a little mini bat type thing, I think that's a good idea actually.
yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there is, depending on cities, counties, and states, check in your local jurisdiction.
Actually, yeah,
Don't trust us. We've
we don't know what
got
we're talking about. We don't know.
Legos and coffee enemas is what we are giving you today.
Yeah,
So yeah, don't trust us for anything that might end you up in the pokey.
yeah.
Um, oh my goodness, there's a conversation about river shoes. I think Amy Fresh, yeah, camping started her preps. Camping became the excuse for my preps. I think that's how this started to go. But
What are river shoes?
river shoes,
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I feel very informed here because we have river shoes, and they're like shoes that you wear in the river. So that's
Are
what
they
they're.
are they
Um,
better than Crocs?
I don't know. I think Crocs could technically count as river shoes. I think there is
Oh,
a
okay,
wide spectrum. Like we
okay.
have like sandals that are like sport sandals that we use for ours, but
Well,
there
we
are
call
people
them. I
that
guess
have
we
them
call
that
them
are like
water shoe. We call them water shoes.
yeah,
Okay,
like
river
they were
shoes.
like aqua socks, I
Yeah,
think was
aqua
the
socks.
name for
Yeah,
them at some point.
yeah,
But yeah, so I think that is a good thing. But yeah, when we started prepping and then I wanted to get more things, my wife was like, okay, but you have to go camping with those things to try them out. And I was like, I don't think that's a thing. And she was like, if you'd like to get more things, it will be a thing. And I was like, okay. So once a year, I go
yeah,
camping to try out my preps so that I can then buy more preps.
yeah. I wear the Crocs, but I get heckled by everyone about them. They're like, "Oh, you've really let yourself go. You're wearing the Crocs." Like, my kids
Denise would
were
like,
we wear water shoes. Oh, yeah, I saw the Denise is
yeah,
drinking.
exactly. Denise would like to remind everyone that that's close enough, and everyone
Yeah,
should have a drink of their water. And Amy Fresh says all shoes are better than Crocs.
yeah.
We are not sponsored by Crocs. We're not sponsored
I
by any
like them.
water
I
shoe
have them
company.
in my
If
hospital go bag. I have Crocs ready to go. So
really, why?
yes.
Okay, so tell me why Crocs in the hospital go bag.
Because if you're like you could they're waterproof, so like I did have slippers and I switched them out for Crocs because if you wanted to go in the shower or something with them, you could just not have to take the shoes off type thing. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. So
Joe has a very specific
oh, I
thing.
saw
Yeah,
that.
bugging
Yeah,
out. He is not a fan of bugging out.
he
He's
doesn't
like,
like
if
it.
you bug out, you are
Well,
dead,
I
apparently.
think most
That is
preppers are bugging in is what you default. That's like the default because that's where all your stuff is. And yeah, I think
yeah,
especially if you have a family, yeah, it'd be really tough after a while. But for me, that's why I try to change the term to like an evacuation kit, or if your
yeah,
house is on fire, like bugging out could just be bugging out to your driveway or across the street. Like
yes.
if there's a gas leak, hey, I'm bugging out. Like but I think a lot of people when they hear bug out, it's like, oh, that means you're going into the woods and hunting deer and stuff like that. For me, bugging out is just evacuating your home. And it might be certain distances. So like if there's an
Yes.
earthquake, you probably don't want to be in your home. Like if you feel like the integrity is not that good, but just when someone says bugging out doesn't mean that you're bugging out into the wilderness and going Mad Max style. So
Yes.
that's what
I
I
would
mean on
agree
that,
with
Joe. So yeah.
that's a fantastic point because I think for us, I consider bugging in to be us staying in our general area. So like we have multiple tents and things, and we would set up like a whole infrastructure here, if especially if we need to be out of the house. But if we were bugging out, we're not going to be going into the wilderness on a backpack by foot. Like if we needed to, we would. But if there was a big earthquake, we'd be looking to just evacuate to somewhere else in the country where we could then kind of regroup and then figure out what we were going to do.
Yeah, I have a video on bug in versus bug out, and for all the different, a whole bunch of different emergency scenarios. Like if you're in California and there's wildfire happening, and like your house is in the path, you probably want to, but it's evacuating. You're evacuating.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Joe agrees.
Joe agrees. Okay, we got it.
We have reached consensus.
We got it. Okay,
that is fantastic. Another satisfied viewer.
Yep.
We have reached consensus.
Hit that like button, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Like and subscribe, Joe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think Chuck also was kind of like in the same vein of, if you've got a place to go, that would be a good thing. So yeah, it's more evacuation than it would be.
I think most people would be like, I mean, going to the woods is like just like you can only go for so long, especially if you have kids and stuff. Like everybody's gonna start snaring squirrels and stuff, and everyone's gonna go there. Like it's kind of like
I thought you were a prepper.
Yeah.
I thought you were a prepper, aren't you? Is that like the squirrel snare thing, the thing on Facebook that we now get ads about all the time?
Yeah, I have some snares, but but most scenarios I think are bugging out is not that far. It's bugging out outside of where you live. So
yeah, exactly. There's a whole thing. Chuck is reminding everyone, please don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. I think because at this point, who knows even where we are with any of this. I think we need to, it's been an hour. I think it's time to wrap it up. Miss Prepper has no idea where you are. But also
at any moment someone's going to barge in, and again, I'm going to get swatted. And
I don't think so. I think you're putting on a brave front. I think she's off with her biker gang. They're somewhere else. They're at a bar or something. And you're putting on this brave front for all of us that she's downstairs and unaware. She's wearing some black leather American Eagle jacket thing on the back of a Harley somewhere. Taking bourbon straight, and
I was gonna say that her screen name is ATF, and so she's been trolling us this whole time.
Exactly. That seems reasonable. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. It's good to be back. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, also please hit the like button, because that just why would you not? Hit the subscribe button. We will be back next week because neither of us are leaving the city or state or anything. So hopefully we will be back. We're getting, I think this is 9 months, 10 months. We're getting close to a 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, we
need to start thinking about that.
The baby's going to be born soon. That's good.
The baby's going to be. Wow. It's just all about expelling from bodily orifices.
Sorry.
With you. This is a side of Tough that no one gets to see. It's Tough. Tough after dark.
Yes.
Secret preppers. Secret preppers.
Stay tuned for the PDF of my new medical kit that has the new thermometers.
Your new PDF is only available on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. That's the thing. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. We see you next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.